Howdy folks, Ray Bessette from raybessette.com. I'm here today with another episode of Fitness Through Science and Not Fiction. Today I got a special treat. We're going to go through my nutrition quiz that's on the website. But first I'd like to show you a couple things here on my website on how to utilize it for other services. Number one, if you're having a hard time, and most of us do, knowing what to eat, we've got that already done for you. I have a company called Fit and Firm Foods. It's right up here under the BioFirm system. You come down and click on here, okay, and you can go low carb if you're looking to lose fat, and then you've got all these meals right here, right at your hands, and you can actually learn from them if you want to make them yourself. But you got to remember that this food is made from farm pasteurized or pastured eggs, chickens, cows, so it's right from the farm the way we ate 100 years ago. Okay, so this stuff is all hand-picked, perfectly matched up for anywhere from $7 to $13. So there's your solution right here as far as your nutrition side goes for your main meals. Then we also have Marigold bars. Now if you haven't tried these bars, they're different from any other bars. Number one, they need to be refrigerated. What's that tell you about the bars themselves? If they need to be refrigerated, that means they will oxidize or rot in the air. Okay, so if they take it out of their own container and the air hits it, then it's going to rot. So if your food doesn't rot, it's an inflammatory. Okay, these will rot in the air. That's good. It doesn't have a long shelf life, so we have to put it in a refrigerator to naturally preserve it. So how much better can it be? So if you go on my website, you can see here all of our services. We also do hormonal balance. We do that through a blood test and a physician. Then we have bios of everybody here. Okay. I have nutrition classes that I do one-on-one, and you can get on the website and hit contact and get a hold of me that way. But right now we'd like to go to Marigold bars. And it's really, these bars they taste great, and it's hard to believe that there's anywhere from 20 to 23 grams of protein in each one of these bars, and almost zero sugar, 4 grams of sugar and carbohydrates. That's very minimal. You can eat 10 of these and stay under 50 grams of sugar a day. You know, so this is your solution right here. And I would suggest that if you're going to order, go ahead and get the variety pack, see which ones you like. She's got about, Marigold has about, I'd say about 25 different flavors, and they're all fantastic. In fact, I don't know which one I like the best. All right, let's move on back. We're going to go to the nutrition quiz here. And, all right, it starts off, test your fitness knowledge. Okay, for everybody, all those folks at home, let's see if you really know what you're talking about here. Now, I got to tell you, these questions are just a little bit tricky. Okay, we're looking at it from a scientific point of view, and not just a hey, eat this, eat that, like the pre-packaged meals you see on TV, which are really, you know, they figure that you're eating so bad anyway that anything you do, you're going to lose water weight, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're trying to attack the water weight. So a lot of the food is kind of a diuretic food that makes you lose weight, get on the scale, and say, oh my God, I must be doing great. Well, if you use that as a measurement just alone, you know, you're going to run into problems, and this time, a month from now, you're going to be looking back and saying, hey, did I just have a resolution here? I'm supposed to be getting healthy here and dropping some pounds or gaining muscle, whatever your goals are, and you're not hitting it because you're doing it wrong. You're using cardio, and we're going to get into that anyway. So as your only exercise, I don't really call it cardio exercise because it doesn't have a metabolic aspect to it. We'll get into it in a minute. All right, we're going to start the quiz. First question. To lose weight is really all about calories in and calories out. Now, this is a misconception that people have. So if I cut my calories, bingo, flag number one, do not cut your calories. No, you want to change your calories. What is the definition of a calorie? That's where I'd start. Definition of a calorie is how fast something burns. A Diet Coke, for example, how fast does that burn? Well, it burns real fast because there's no calories in it. So why do fat people get fatter when they drink Diet Coke? Well, because it has aspartame in it. Aspartame is a chemically induced chemical that they use in their soda. So it stops or slows down the other metabolic processes, and if you can't digest it or do anything with it, your body's going to do something with it, store it as fat. So they can't be digested, it's going to be stored as fat. So it's not about calories in and calories out. It depends on what the calories are coming from. Okay, you can eat 2,000–3,000 calories if they're coming from fat and protein. These guys don't turn to fat. There's 4 calories per gram in fat, 4 calories per gram in protein or muscle. Protein, we'll call it. And alcohol has 7 calories per gram, and fat has 9 calories. I'm sorry, fat has 9 calories per gram. It's carbohydrates that have 4 calories per gram. So you'd think, well, I want to stay away from fat because it has more calories in it. No, because it can't turn to fat. Now, trans fat doesn't count. Trans fat is a chemically induced filler or a process that the food manufacturers go through to fill up food. Okay, so they're not using the real products, so it's cheaper to make. You ever wonder why you can get away with those fast food restaurants for 99 cents for one of their burgers or tacos or whatever it is? My God, 99 cents? You're worth more than 99 cents. Why would you take that in the temple of your soul? You know, doesn't make sense to me. So I'd rather pay a little bit more and have it done, have your body show it. Okay, what you wear, what you eat in private is what you wear in public. Remember that one, it's pretty good. Okay, so it's false. It's not about calories in and calories out. Oh, got it right. Well, I know the answers already anyway. Okay, reducing calories and increasing cardio is healthy in weight loss. No, it's not. That's the typical New Year's resolution right here. Reducing your calories and increasing cardio. Now, number one, cardio makes you hungry as heck. Okay, so you want to, cardio has its place, but if your goal is to lose fat and keep the muscle, then doing this you're going to run into problems. You have already? Huh? Yeah, see, that's probably what you did last year. Okay, so you want to stay away from reducing your calories. In fact, you want to start increasing your calories. Remember that your body will, as you're digesting food, you're burning calories by just the simple fact of chewing and digestion, okay, in and out. So, and also your body's going to recognize if you have nothing coming in, okay, it's going to start storing things because your body perceives famine, just like we were when we were in prehistoric times. Okay, our bodies haven't changed in over 40,000 years. What has changed is our food today. So we have to combat against that, or you're going to, end up like a beached whale. I hate to say it. Or you're going to be unhealthy, or both. Mostly it's both. Okay, so it's not about calories in and calories out. It's also not about reducing your calories and increasing your cardio. Not only that, it's not healthy, and you're usually not fun to live with. Okay, so we'll give you a solution here in a second as we go. The purpose of exercise is to burn as many calories as you can. Now, this is a myth that you should never ever do. I know there are people here in the gym that'll spend anywhere from 2 to 3 hours working out. I see them because I'm going through 2 or 3 clients and they're still here. And I'm like, your body hasn't changed. When are you going to wake up and find out that more exercise is not good? Because you can't repair yourself. You're probably not sleeping well at night because you're overtraining. You're probably not eating very well because you're overtraining. Overtraining is worse than undertraining. I hate to say that one, but it's true. So the purpose of exercise is actually to stimulate your muscles so that when you're resting and leave the gym, okay, your body starts to break down the muscle, or it breaks down the muscle as you exercise. Then it repairs itself. During that repair, you're going to burn more calories than you did when you exercised. The purpose of exercise is to stimulate the muscle so that when you're not exercising, it burns calories at rest. And let me tell you, when you're resting, the difference between, here's a good analogy. The difference between a wealthy guy and a rich guy is a rich guy will have a good job, go to work every day and make pretty good money. But a wealthy guy will sleep and wake up the next day and be rich or have a lot of money, make money while they're sleeping. So if you look at it that way, when you're sleeping and you're burning calories, you're not really working. okay? Just like an investment in the wealthy guy. So let's be wealthy and not just rich, okay? And again, this works every time. If you're working more than an hour in the gym, you're probably talking too much, okay? So let's move on. This is false. The purpose of exercise is not to burn as many calories as you can. It's to stimulate the muscles to burn calories when you're not working out, okay? Just trust me on that. You do different muscle groups so that you're not running into that not the full body, just upper body, lower body for those that are beginning. Then you can do a 3-day split, 4-day split. We can get into that into another episode of Fitness Through Science, not fiction. But let's move on. We're going to call that false, okay? High cholesterol levels leads to heart disease. You should avoid red meat and egg yolks. Wow, we should have told this to our ancestors. I'm sure they didn't separate the eggs or didn't eat red meat, right? And who do we evolve from? Our ancestors. So, I mean, this doesn't make sense. Why would we do that? Well, I have an idea. Maybe the pharmaceutical company said, you know what, we need to bring up our revenue. And we have cholesterol drugs that we were trying to make another drug work, but it didn't work there, but it also reduced our cholesterol. So why don't we do this? Why don't we say that to America, we need to bring down your cholesterol for some reason, which cholesterol has no measurement for, so I don't know why there's no range where your cholesterol should be. It'll be where it is. All right, cholesterol makes hormones for your body. It also carries the oxygen to your cell membrane. Cholesterol is one of the most vital hormones that we have. Why would you just cut down your cholesterol? I don't get it. Now, I'm not saying that for everybody. I'm just saying, you know, ask your doctor what the metabolic process is. Why am I taking this medication? Ask. And if he doesn't have a good answer, then, you know, you might want to just, you know, rethink it or see another doctor, okay? So avoiding red meat and egg yolks is crazy. The most nutritious part of an egg is the yolk. You know, I eat egg yolks all the time. I don't separate them. Why should I? I want cholesterol, the good stuff. Now, if I'm inflamed inside and I'm eating bad all the time, you know, most doctors look at you as you're always eating the standard American diet. So anything that you take in is going to kind of be bad, like, you know, the egg yolks. And so you're already inflamed and you eat this stuff. I got it. Hold on. Let me go to another page. Did you know when you open up a clogged artery that there's no cholesterol in it? No. It's adulterated omega-6. That's what's in there. And that's another episode also. But so there's no cholesterol. 75% of the people that have heart attacks have normal cholesterol. Okay? So so just keep that in mind when you're eating eggs and see if it works for you. Okay? And meat. I mean, again, we evolved from our ancestors. Our ancestors didn't, as cavemen, separate the egg yolk from the egg white or stop eating meat and only eat plants and seeds. Okay, so now today's food has really changed too, and that goes into another episode. But anyway, getting back on track here. Eating a lot of saturated fat will make you fat. Well, we just went over that. Fat cannot turn to fat. And back in the 80s, there was a big kick on, you know, low-fat everything. Actually, 70s. Low-fat everything. So we got embedded in our minds that fat was the bad guy. And so people, for energy, started eating more sugar. Well, imagine what the sugar companies did. And the candy companies. They must have went through the roof. It's great. But the science proves that the fat is your preferred energy source. Sugar is also there. In the presence of sugar, your body will use that sugar first and then the fat. But if your goal is to lose fat and gain muscle, then the eating fat is what you really want for your energy source. It doesn't turn to fat. It'll be used up for structure in your body somewhere. Okay? So that's a good point right there. So this is false. Eating a lot of saturated fat will make you fat. Fat can't turn to fat. It's physiologically impossible. I'm talking about the good fats. The fat around the steaks, stuff like that. Okay? Oils. Coconut oil. That's the good fat. Pumpkin seed oil. Primrose oil. Those are the good fats. Okay, we're going to put false on that. Now moving along, true or false? Whole grains are healthy. Well, they might have been okay, you know, 200 years ago when they actually harvest the grains in a manner that was healthy for you. But nowadays, grains and and wheat are processed so bad that it's almost impossible, even if they were. And also they're a carbohydrate too, which is a sugar. So if you're trying to get away from sugar, stay away from the pastas, the cereals, all cereal, your rice, things like that. You know, is going to turn to sugar. If you're not burning that sugar off. I'm not saying sugar is a bad guy, but we as Americans here eat too much sugar, and an overload of sugar is what makes you fat. Okay, because you're not burning it off, or you're taking in too much. So the best of both worlds is to take in what you need and burn that off, and then use fat for energy. Okay, so that's false. Whole grains are not healthy. Oh, here's a good one. This is a whole new subject. Fish oil is healthy. The #1 supplement in the world, fish oil. How did that happen? I have no idea. I think somebody had a fish hatchery and they said, what do I do with all these fish heads? Oh, I got a buddy in the FDA. Let's go talk to him and tell the American people that it's good. I don't know how it all came about, but it sounds pretty good to me. And the FDA approved. Can you imagine taking a fish, putting it in a blender, juicing it, pouring it out, and saying, here you go, this is good for you? That is gross. I mean, and you know, when I hear people talking about fish oil burps and things like that. #1, okay, if you just look at this, fish spoils at 70 degrees. It spoils at 70 degrees. So what happens when it hits the air? It's going to oxidize. Even if it was good, which it isn't, but even if it was good, it would oxidize. When it hits your 98.8 body, what it's going to do? It's going to spoil. It'll spoil anyway. Okay, so it's going to spoil. It's going to go rancid. All right. Also, even now, if you eat fish, you go out and you catch a fish, you cook it, and you eat that, you're going to get the omega-3s that you really need. And that's what the whole point is, to get into omega-3s. Omega-6 is the oils like coconut oil I mentioned earlier. But anyway, so fish oil, no. It goes rancid in your body, and 1,000 milligrams of fish oil in a capsule. Well, first of all, I would start in how much does our brain need of fish oil? Or I should say DHA and EPA. That's what they think it's going to convert to. Well, guess what? It's not essential. Our bodies make that anyway, as needed. So you don't need this stuff. You need the apparent omega-6 and the parent omega-3s that you get here and extend life. Okay, these are the parent omegas. This is where the cows go ahead and eat the grass and the clover like they did, you know, or they do on ranches, or the fit and firm foods you saw in the marigold bars. Those have the grass-fed beef in there, and they turn it into the protein or whey protein. And this right here assures you that you're getting those omega-3s and omega-6s, parents. So it comes from the plant itself, or the grass or the clover that the cow ate. So the cow eats the grass, the clover, it gets into their meat, we eat the meat, we get oxygenized from the omega-3 and the omega-6 from the grass. Well, the grass is the parent. This right here went right from, skipped the cow, skipped everything, went right to the parent. And it's put into these capsules right here. This is the greatest stuff in the world. You can get this, you can contact me and I can send you some bottles of these. These right here, again, I can't tell you how much great. They'll change your life. This is what's drastically needed, missing from our food. It's drastically missing from our food. All the cows nowadays are eating corn, wheat, or whatever they feed them nowadays, or genetically modified this and that. Okay, if you really want to survive this American diet that we're going through right now, this is good. And also, it's an antioxidant, big time antioxidant. So even if you're eating bad, this will help battle against what you're eating. Okay, so the Fit and Firm foods, the marigold bars, and the Extend Life omega-3s or parent omega oils. Okay, this is what you need. This is the real deal. Okay, so this is going to be true. Fish oil is not healthy. It is poison. All right, moving on. True or false? Carbohydrates are not sugar. False. Okay, because carbohydrates is look at it this way. Carbohydrates is a long word for sugar. All right, and again, that sugar is the only thing that turns to fat, other than adulterated food. Okay, so just keep that in mind. I mean, there's your diet right there. You don't have to listen to, you know, these commercials on TV, these box things that they send you, and it looks like a little GI Joe couldn't get full on some of their foods. Okay, it looks good, looks great. They make it, you know, they turn to the side and they're wearing black and they say, oh yeah, I got healthy on this kind of food or whatever they're trying to sell at you. And most people are vulnerable at this time because they didn't come see me first, okay? So anyway, are carbohydrates sugar or not sugar? False, they are sugar. So when you're reading the labels, look at the labels. If it says 0 sugar and the carbohydrates are 37 grams per serving, you gotta look at the servings. So if there's 2 servings, you gotta take that 37 grams, times it by 2. Okay, so now look how much sugar you have in that healthy food that you thought you were gonna eat. All right, so you just doubled the sugar. So that food right there, I don't call it food, I call it a dessert. So keep that in mind when you're looking at the labels, okay? Because they're very deceiving nowadays. So carbohydrates are not sugar, that's false, they are sugar. Moving along, carbohydrates are our preferred fuel source. Okay, well, let's think about this. I just got done saying that carbohydrates are sugar, and we have 2 main sugar, we have 2 main energy sources. We have fat, which is our body's preferred. Okay, so carbohydrates, what turns to sugar, is not preferred. But in the presence of sugar, fat won't be used. So if you're wondering why you can't lose fat, it's probably because your A1C is very high. Your blood has sugar, or your glucose levels are very high. You always have an overabundance of sugar in your body already without even eating sugar. Okay, and then you have insulin resistance, which means that the glucose molecule, when you eat a food, bonds to the insulin molecule, and they're looking for a muscle cell to dump into. Now, muscle loves sugar, but once your muscle is full of, now in the stored version to glycogen, it doesn't need any more sugar. Okay, it goes to your liver, goes to your brain, and then it turns into a triglyceride. Okay, so it's called the Krebs cycle, by the way. Okay, and that cycle is, if you don't burn it when it turns into a triglyceride, it's going to be stored as fat. So that's how you get fat. So anyway, are carbohydrates your preferred source of fuel? No, fat's your preferred. So that's false. It's preferred that our bodies were set up centuries ago, I should say 40,000 years ago, to burn fat for energy, not sugar. It's only until it got introduced recently, that, or in the last 100 years, that sugar's overwhelmed our bodies, and that's why we have an obese pandemic, not epidemic, pandemic. Okay, so carbohydrates, that's false. Eating a lot of fruit helps you lose weight. Well, let's look at it again. What is fruit? It's a sugar. So if it's sugar, whether it comes from an apple, if it comes from a bagel, or if it comes from a Snickers bar, they all in your gut turn to glucose. They turn to glucose, it's going to stimulate the pancreas to secrete insulin, and that Krebs cycle goes again. Okay, now fruit's okay, don't get me wrong, but if you're over 30% body fat, probably not a really good choice, because if you're over 30% body fat, that's telling me that you probably have high sugar levels in your blood and high insulin levels in your blood. When you have high insulin levels in your blood, it's physiologically impossible to burn fat. Okay, so keep that in mind. So these people that eat fruit think they're doing great. Okay, number one, one of the most highly processed foods today are fruit. I mean, how do you get an apple in January that looks perfectly green and shiny, and where did it come from? I mean, it's got to be genetically modified. All right, so you want to keep that in mind also, where your food's coming from. 90% of all foods in the supermarket are 90% adulterated or processed. So it's kind of hard to find the really good stuff unless you live on a farm. Okay, well, not all of us live on a farm. I don't. So what I do is I fight back with supplements like this, the parent omega oils, or EFAs, the true EFAs. So that's one way to fight back. It also makes you sleep better and also recover from your workouts better. My God, fish oil is an autoimmune depressant. It actually makes your immune system go down. It's terrible. Okay, so eating a lot of fruit will help you lose weight. No, that's false, because it's sugar. All right, now not everybody, I mean, everybody can, there are certain people that can eat fruits. If your body fat's over 30%, you probably should avoid fruits. How do you find out if your body's over 30% body fat? come in my office. I have a bioimpedance scale. You step on it, takes about 5 minutes, and we'll find out where you are. Where's your body fat percentage. How much muscle you have as opposed to how much fat you have. Okay, body composition. So you know, and how much water you have. So you can intelligently understand how your body, what your body composition is, and when you do lose weight, did it come from water, muscle, or fat? It had to come from one of those. Okay, so we can intelligently, give you that information. It's important. Okay, so this is false. Our next one, hormones cause cancer. Well, can you believe that's even on here? No, it doesn't cause cancer. The lack of hormones does cause cancer. Well, let's look at it logically. When you're 17 years old, your hormones are probably the highest they'll ever be in your life. Now, do we have any guys out there that have prostate cancer, kids out there at 17, because their hormones are too high? They're in the upwards in the thousands, where, most of the people I have come in here, as far as testosterone goes, they're not even hitting 200 nowadays, because our food is laced with hormones and antibiotics and all that stuff. So it affects your blood test. Let me tell you, if you haven't had a blood test, I got a great special going on this month. I can do the whole thing for $500, and that's with a consultation with me. Okay, and we can go over it step by step, and I can tell you exactly what's going on in your body. You got to start from the inside out, and women too. If your hips are getting wider and you're over 40, well, there's a reason for it. You're probably estrogen dominant. Your estrogen levels pretty much stay the same, but your progesterone goes down. Progesterone opposes your estrogen. Progesterone opposes your estrogen, so that there's nothing to keep it balanced. Okay, and there's several other things that we're looking for too. Your cortisol levels, that'll affect your thyroid, things like that. And your C-reactive protein, which is a marker for inflammation. I can tell you if you got inflammation. Okay, and there's supplements you can take, and there's lifestyle changes you can make. It's not that difficult. Okay, and again, you see the way I'm talking about things. You watch these commercials, you eat the food. All you're gonna do is eat the food. No, you don't just eat the food. There's more to it than that. But it's not that complicated. They try to make, being complicated sells things, sells products. That's why there's so many different diets out there to confuse you, so you don't know what to have. Okay, so this is false. Do hormones cause cancer? No, not at all. Okay, true or false? The scale is the best way to measure your progress. Go through this all the time. I get people in here that don't want to get on the scale because they don't want to know how much they weigh. Well, we got to know it goes back to my fat and muscle again. Okay, how much muscle do you have? Muscle burns calories at rest. So if you keep your muscle while you're losing fat, then you won't lose your burning energy source right here. This is a furnace. This burns about anywhere from 45 to 50 calories a day per pound. So you want to keep your muscle. Most people lose both. They lose their fat, they lose their muscle, and they lose water. And they think they're doing a great job. Well, it's not sustainable, and it doesn't last. And have you ever seen somebody that looks kind of sickening and looks like they used to be a former fat person? Well, those are the people that diet restrict and don't eat the healthy food and exercise, mainly lift weights. So if you don't lift weights, it doesn't only stimulate your muscle, but it has a metabolic effect, so it keeps working all the time for 72 hours. Anywhere from 48 to 72 hours, you're burning calories. Okay? So anyway, and again, a calorie is what? That's right. It's a measurement on how fast something burns. All right. So is the scale the best way? No, it's one way. Okay. How about feeling good? Oh my God, getting rid of that inflammation, that waterlogged feeling all the time. Yeah, that's also a measurement. How about tape measure? How about how your clothes fit? How about the compliments you get from your friends and family and coworkers? Those are all measurements. A lot of people are so fixated on that scale because of the Biggest Loser and all those other trendy, misleading shows. They think that if you lose 10 pounds or 20 pounds, that you're doing great. My first question is, would you lose 10 or 20 pounds off? Was it muscle, fat, or water? Because it had to be one of them. I can tell you the difference here. Okay? So anyway, let's go with false again on here. All right. True or false? Excess dietary protein is stored as fat. All right, again, protein can't be stored as fat, even if it's excessive. Okay, it's going to be used for body structure somewhere in your body. It can't turn to fat. Okay, fat can't turn to fat, the good fat, the real fat, and protein can't turn to fat. It's physiologically impossible. Let's move on. That is false. Okay, on abdominal exercises, now we're going to biomechanics, are the best way to build and show your abs, doing crunches. Okay, well, it's a way, but it's not the best way. The best way is to use your bigger muscles, like doing squats or deadlifts. Using those bigger muscles, and the physiology of it is that you break down the muscle, the glycogen or the sugar bleeds out of the muscle and needs to be replenished. It could be replenished by sugar that's going through your system already. It goes into the muscle, it's stored as glycogen, and it's ready to go again. But in the meantime, going through that repair process, like I mentioned before, you're going to be burning calories. So what most people have is everybody has naturally abdominals. It's how good or how they show is how many calories you burn and get that fat off. Okay, so doing, I see guys in the gym going back and forth like this, trying to get rid of those love handles. Well, all you're doing is building up the muscle underneath the fat. So if you're getting wider doing those exercises, there's a reason, because you're just building the muscle that's underneath the fat. So we haven't done anything. All you're doing is making this grow, and this is still fat. Okay? So building muscle underneath your abdominals or your the sides, your obliques, it's kind of ridiculous, and I would work with the bigger muscle groups first. All right. Here's a good one. What's more important, your diet or your exercise? Well, it depends on who you talk to. If you talk to the food people on TV trying to sell you their garbage in a box and mail it to you and say, all you got to do is eat this, they're going to say diet. If you talk to me, I'm going to say, well, it depends on where you are. It depends on what your body fat percentage is. It depends what your goals are. Sometimes exercise is as important as diet. I mean, they go both hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. If you exercise a whole lot, you have to eat more. If you eat more, you have to exercise a lot. Okay, so again, they go both back and forth. Here's a good one. Your doctor is their 5th leading cause of death in the United States. And this is according to the American Medical Association, JAMA. 5th leading cause. Well, think about it, okay? What's number 1? Cardiovascular disease. All right, so it's not that, so number 1's taken. Number 2 is cancer. Okay, that takes second most that take Americans. And 3rd is actually your doctor. It's not 5th. So this is false. Okay, the 3rd leading cause. Yes, and it mostly is misdiagnosis or prescription. Their prescriptions are not right. And also talk about prescriptions. Once you start exercising, check with your doctor, because you're not the same body that came in there 3 months ago or 6 months ago or 3 years ago. So your body has changed. Your body fat has changed. You're going to change. So if you're on a blood pressure medication and now all of a sudden you're starting to feel dizzy and you might be over medicated, what happens when you give a healthy person medication? Well, they get sick, right? All right, we don't have a lack of pharmaceutical needs in our bodies. Okay, so why are these doctors prescribing all these medications? Because we need it for our body? That's not what the caveman said, okay? So anyway, this is false. The leading cause of Americans in the United States is not the 5th leading cause, doctors. It's the 3rd leading cause. Okay, so that's false. Did you get the message here? All of these answers are false. So go ahead and try to take this. Well, I guess I just gave you the answer, so it wouldn't be fair now, would it? Okay. But anyway, I hope you guys learned something on this. These are little tricky questions, and you can read into them, and some of these could go either way. But anyway, we're 15 for 15 as far as our score goes. So, pass this on to a loved one or somebody else. Or how about that person that's always bragging in the break room that they know what to eat? Have them try this test. It's at raybessette.com. Okay, it's RAYBESSETT.com under the Nutrition Fitness Quiz. Okay, and again, I hope everybody learned something today. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like this video if you liked it. Okay, well, Ray Bessette from raybessette.com signing out, and have a great one. Thank you.